Hey everyone, Danielle here. I'm going to be doing a few turns of this game called Senjutsu, Battle for Japan. I have this set up for the campaign. If you don't want to see it, because it might be a spoiler for you, please stop watching. But for those who are okay with seeing it, this is called the Ashigaru attack. This is the first scenario with the Ronin deck and the AI opponent deck setups for Katana Ashigaru and Yari Ashigaru. We also have the Noblewoman on the board as well. So this is the locations of all the people on the map. The triangles show you the direction that they're facing. In this game, the direction that they're facing is important. It will be difficult for you to see that orientation here, but you can assume that most of the time they will be probably facing Ronin because that's how they will be able to do their attack. All right, so I didn't really change up anything. I built the deck exactly as this instructed for this scenario. And then the scenario rules include: at the end of the turn, after all cards have been resolved, you may move the Noblewoman 1 in any direction. The Noblewoman must remain within 2 hexes of Ronin at all times. The Ashigaru will prioritize the Ronin over the Noblewoman for their attacks. So just so you know, Katana and Yari, they both have a wound limit of 3. So if either of them have at least 3 wounds, they die. The Noblewoman has a wound limit of 1. So the goal of this scenario is to defeat all opponents, and the Noblewoman must also survive. So this will be an interesting one. I would like to show the artwork for the front of the solo campaign book. I really like the art style in this. Okay. All right. And then the short narrative here says, Ashigaru attack. Having long ago killed his daimyo? I don't know how to say that. The Ronin masterless and the lone wanders. I totally just read that very oddly. Let me start over. Having long ago killed his daimyo. Let me go ask my husband how this word is said. All right. So according to my husband, it is pronounced daimyo. Hopefully that's right. So having long ago killed his daimyo, the Ronin, masterless and alone, wanders a broken Japan seeking out injustice. Through a clearing, he spies a noblewoman being assaulted by disgraceful Ashigaru. Outraged, the Ronin charges. Okay, so I'll put this to the side. I have both of the Ashigaru's decks here. I have the Ronin deck here. I have the Kamei tree here, starting at the neutral. I have the Ronin core card. It tells me the initiative, although it does not matter here in this solo game. It tells me the maximum hand size, and it tells me how much damage I could take before Ronin is dead. Also on the bottom, it tells me which weapons I can use when I build a Ronin deck. But in this case, I just used the one that was in the deck list for the solo campaign. I wanted to explain this real quick. This kind of just tells you the priority of how these characters are going to be positioning themselves. So during the deck setup, it actually tells you the preferred behavior. So that's what this tracks. So this side is the Katana, this side is Yari. And this one will be offensive from the left, and this one is offensive from the right. And it does matter if they are offensive or defensive. There are times where if they're going to take a damage, they're not going to do something. And if that's the case, they would be defensive, and I would signify it by swapping out these tokens for these rings to signify the change in that behavior. Okay, so that explains that. And this will change, depending on the cards that they play. There's some terrain here that will affect how things are targeted. So we have 3 stones out here on the map. I have the status cards here. We have crippling poison, a hobble, stun, and the wound cards. These are probably going to be the ones that will be used most, because anytime anyone takes damage, you're going to take a wound card and it remains in play. And it says if you have as many wound cards as your character's wound limit, you are defeated. It is interesting that they decided to use these as like the wounds instead of tokens, because I feel like, sometimes when it comes to statuses, it's typically token based, but it is not that case here, which is fine. And then here we have focus. So these are focus tokens that we will be gaining every time we go to this branch of the Kame tree. And then we have these reference cards, which it might be hard to see when I'm playing the game, but if you want to pause and take a look, that's what these symbols all mean throughout the game. And they are a lot. I personally find them overwhelming, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll leave that here. So I do start the game with some prepared cards, and prepared cards will have an icon on the bottom of it if you can prepare it, meaning choose them to be in your starting hand. So it's this little icon on the left of the sun icon. So these 3 cards can be placed into my hand if I choose to. You can't have more than one of them, although you see field bandages actually drew into a field bandages. That's why I have 2, but you can't prepare more than one of the same exact card. After you choose which cards you want to include in your hand, you'll shuffle up your deck, your ability deck here. And after that, you'll just draw up to your hand. So in my case, it would be 5 cards. So the 5 cards I had were these. So I have a field bandages, there's 2 of them, steel block, horizontal cut, and feral sweep. As you can see, there's keywords underneath each of these titles. We have 3 defense cards and 2 attack cards. And then, so that was 5 cards. And then you'll notice I had some extra cards in my hand because I had already drawn for my turn. When you start your turn, you draw a card. So this is from the top of the deck. So in this case, I do have 6 in this pile right now. You also start with 2 additional cards that don't count towards your hand size, and they're always going to be your core card and your core weapon. So this core card can be played on your turn, or you can use this weapon as well. All right. And they always come back to your hand, by the way, after you play it. Okay, so I think we should be able to start here. I will have the turn sequence here up on my screen so I can make sure I don't mess up. So let's start with the draw, which I've already done. I drew from the top of my deck. And then I get to choose. I get to choose which card to play. And what's interesting about this game is that there's like an initiative. If you're familiar with, what's that game? Oh my goodness, Gloomhaven. It's kind of a similar process where depending on the card you play, there's also some sort of like initiative. I think that's the case in Gloomhaven. I think there's an order to how things are played. But regardless, there are numbers on the top left of these cards, and that is the order basically that they would be played in from highest to lowest. So if these happen to be the 2 cards out, just as an example, I would never be able to really play 2 cards like this, but say there was a 6 and a 0, I would resolve the horizontal cut first and then the Ronin core card, if that was the case. So let's see. I'm going to end up probably choosing, because what I need to do is I need to try to get closer to my enemies. to attack, and I'm all the way here, so I need something that can allow me to move. And in this case, I think I would want to probably use the Ronin core card to do that, which allows me to move 1 and rotate up to 2. You'll notice here on the Ronin that it has this kind of triangle on the base of it, and that's the direction it faces. The miniatures will have that if you're playing a character. The noble woman does not have that. These don't have any directional faces. You can just tell the front and the back, and that's where they will face. All right. I'm going to choose the Ronin core card as my card. And then we're going to draw 1 card from each of these. So we're going to draw this one. And we're going to draw this one. Okay. So there's going to be a stab and a fend. So depending on the order, the highest would go first. So I believe the stab would go first because this is a defend. It's not going to really be doing too much. And it responds to a 5-2, it looks like. That's the range it would respond to an attack by. So there's no attacking really. So I'm going to just do the stab, which is a more of a definitive number. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I'm just going to go with it. So stab says this is going to go and move up 1, forward 1, and then it's going to rotate 1 clockwise. Or actually just probably 1 towards me. So it's going to move up 1 and then face me. All right. So that's that. So I've done that, and now we get to do fend. So it's not going to defend anything because it's not going to be attacked. But what it's going to do is this step, which is a 1, is going to move in any of these 3 directions closest to me. So it's going to just go 1 towards me. And then it's going to reset the deck, meaning it's going to shuffle up this deck. Okay. Then this one's discarded. I'll put that here. And then we have my card. It was 0, so it just pops off now. I have to discard 1 card. And then it says I can move in any direction 1 space, and I can rotate up to 2, and then draw up to 2 cards. Or I can draw 1. Not sure what that symbol is. Let's check this. Oh, I could put a stun. Draw a stun and switch to any Kame, or change Kame up to 1 branch. I think I'll discard 1 card. And I'll discard this field bandages since I have 2 of them. And then I will move here and face that way towards this Kamigaru. All right, and it says draw up to 2 cards or draw 1. I'll draw up to 2 cards, but I don't know, doesn't that count towards my hand size? I'm not sure. Alright, I guess I'll just draw up to 2 cards and see what happens. I have a faint cut, and I have a falling restraint. Okay. Alright, so that's discarded. Well, this is a Ronin core card, so it comes back, so I'll leave that there. You know what, I should probably just leave the core cards down, knowing that's always available. Okay, so that was a round. So now, so what happened in the discard? I have to just double check what that means. So basically I could discard any of my ability cards and play to my discard pile face up. And then I have to check my hand size and then discard to my number, which is going to be 5. So I'd like to have a lot of attacks. So I have these 3. A good defense would be good, so I'll do that one. And I'll keep the meditation card. So I'm discarding field bandages and calm defense. And these are the cards I'm going to keep. Alright. So next turn, I get to draw a card. And in this case, I think I'll be able to use my Naginata sweep, so I'll go ahead and do that. And I think I'm in good position. Well, actually, I should have moved this way one more, I think. Is that right? No, I think that was... I can't remember if I should... Should I move closer first? So maybe the Naginata sweep won't help here. So yeah, maybe I'll use Naginata sweep to do a movement instead. We'll do the second part, I think. And we'll see what they will do. Alright, so I'm going to go and do mine last, I think. So firm mind. They're definitely going to go here and face me. That's what that's going to do. And then aggressive mind is change AI behavior. Okay, so it's going to go here. And it's going to want to go from the front of me. Alright. So I forgot that this is 2, so it could move here and face me. And then this blue guy will go and move towards me. Come from this way. And he's going to want to move twice to go right in front of me, which is what this is showing, I think. Something like that. Alright, so now it says shuffle. What is that? Shuffle attack from discard into deck. Alright, so I'll do that. Not much of a shuffle. There's only 5 cards in these decks. Alright. Discarded. And then I get to do my thing, which was number 2. And I'm going to actually move. Well, like, yeah, I'll move and go this way. I'll move back and then move this way, I think. I don't know if that was smart. I forget which position I was in. So I was here, but I think I was facing that way. I need to somehow get in this position if I plan on even using it. So maybe instead I'll go 1, and then I'll turn this way. Alright, in the noble woman, I'm going to move, and I can move the mobile woman 1 spot every turn. So that's where it's going to go. And this is going to go back to my core. And yeah, I think I have to discard a card though to play this. That's a little confusing. So let's see which one I would discard. Maybe falling restraint, I'll discard. It's a little confusing. I don't know if I only discard if I do this and this. Or is this I have to do the top and the bottom? I don't know. I couldn't even do the first part, the first attack. I don't think anything qualified. Anyway, I did what I did. Okay. So now it's a new round. And I have 5 cards in my hand, which is good. And then I'm going to choose to do the Naginata sweep again. And we'll see what happens with these guys. So defense and then attack. So they're going to go first with the lunging thrust on the yellow. So they're going to end up moving in any direction. But they're still not going to be able to face me. So I think it's going to just stay here because it's not turning. So it can't even attack. So I think it's actually going to do this 3 thing because it can't do a lunging thrust. So I'll go ahead and just do my Naginata sweep because I think, yeah, this one will be able to take 1 wound. So I'll give 1 wound to him. And this defense is going to do something as well. But it doesn't actually reach me, so it can't do anything, I think. I don't really know what the numbers mean, actually. 5, 6. I guess that's what the attacks would be. It defends against a 5 and a 6. It's blocking something with a 5, 6 speed. I don't really know what that means. I'm gonna have to skip that part and discard. Oh, it does say change AI behavior, so it's gonna go here. And then it can move in any direction and then turn 1. So I guess I'll move here. Reset deck so everything gets shuffled. I have no idea if I'm playing this right. I might have to take a break from learning this one. Because that's just not clicking for me, unfortunately. And I really want it to. But I might just need to step away for a little bit and get back to it. But anyway, that was 2, 3 turns of this game. I think there's just so much potential in this one, but I'm not sure it's for me right now. I'll give it another try though. Let me know if there's any clear rules mistakes or tips that you see in terms of my gameplay. But yeah, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Feel free to subscribe to not miss out on any future unboxings or playthroughs or live streams. Always happy to meet new gamers. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.